Welcome back to Gals in the Pitwall.
I'm Jasmine.
I said welcome back, and it's like, it might not be welcome back too. Welcome to Gals in the Pitwall.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Catherine.
And
here we are.
Here we go.
That took several attempts to get correct.
This was intro number 3.
We're really struggling. I think we're a bit scrambled after this race.
Oh my god, heads fried.
Just when you thought it couldn't get more exciting than last weekend, this weekend arrived.
Yeah.
And it really... Joe, if you weren't a Ferrari fan, it probably wasn't that exciting.
No.
But...
if you are a Ferrari fan.
Proud Tifosi, it was horrendously anxiety-inducing.
Yes. It was a lot today.
But we'll work through it in an orderly fashion, as we usually do, before it falls to pieces.
Yes. We will try our best.
FP1?
FP1.
Not much to really talk about.
No.
Other than... Oh my god, I really don't want to butcher his name.
Butcher his name?
Drogovic.
Oh, Felipe Drogovic.
Yeah, that's how you say it. It's a lot of letters, okay?
Yeah, no, it is.
And that's
it's a
quite
long
hard.
Name. It's a long name.
He drove in FP1 for Lance.
Yes.
In the Aston Martin. And we'll talk about this later on, but it did hinder Lance a bit, unfortunately.
Definitely
this weekend.
did.
He had a bit of a stinker. And then the other thing was that both Alfa Romeos were described by Joe and Valtteri as undrivable.
Yeah.
That was the report in FP1.
Yeah. So it wasn't looking good for either of them.
No, but Joe, it all worked out sort of, kind of. It improved.
Yeah.
And then FP2 was a bit more chaotic. So bear in mind, Stroll's lost out in FP1.
Yeah, this is basically his FP1.
Right at the start of FP2, Stroll's car breaks down.
Yeah.
And he loses power at the Scari chicane and has to pull over to the side, and that is the end of FP2 for Lance. There was no comeback there. Lost his second practice.
Totally went.
And then Checo had a wee crash in the Parabolica.
He did.
And that was a red flag.
Yes.
But, you know, just usual scenes from Checo, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because why would you drive your super fast car super fast and not crash?
Yeah, no, just... He just likes to keep it spicy, you know?
Yeah.
Shake it up.
A week by week thing.
Keeping us on our toes. How is he going to mess up this time? And then FP3 really was pretty unthrilling.
Except for...
Carlos and Oscar had a wee moment. As seems to be a common theme at the moment. They're really...
They have a little bit of a rivalry going on at the moment.
Wait till Netflix gets a hold of this.
Oh, for sure.
Waiting
Drive
for
to Survive is going to be on the case.
The Oscar-Carlos beef. But the highlight of that was Oscar on the radio going, mate, is Carlos blind or what? Like,
and his wee Australian accent too. It was
Bless
good.
him. And the only thing I had written down other than that was that Albon was pretty mighty.
Yeah, Albon had great.
Another mighty weekend from him.
And the Ferrari's timings were very good.
Looking so good, particularly Carlos.
Very promising.
It's just my rings are...
Rattling
I'm going to
away.
take my rings off.
Just in case.
Yeah, so I'm not rattling in anyone's ears.
Yeah.
I can only apologise. Yeah, the Ferraris and Carlos particularly was...
they were...
promising.
Yeah, and it was... my favourite's birthday this
weekend.
It was
Virgo season, baby.
Yeah, so Carlos turned 29. Happy birthday, Carlos.
Happy birthday.
And he had a great weekend for it. Oh, that was my stomach.
Do you know what else it was the birthday of this week? The release of Smooth Operator.
No way.
39 years ago, I believe.
That's like fate.
Yeah.
That's actually
When
fate.
I saw that, I was like, oh, hang on. That's so funny. So a little fact for you there.
Perfect.
Little factoid. Hope you enjoyed that. And then it's qualifying. We're back to this set tyre format again.
So it's hard tyres for
Q1,
mediums for Q2 and
softs
softs
for Q3.
Yeah.
In order to have less sets of tyres in a race weekend, basically.
Which I think is a good thing.
Yeah, and it works well. It's fine.
Yeah.
I can't say there's anything controversial about it, really.
No, it's a bit fun that they're all on the same tyre as well.
It makes it a little bit closer, I guess. Yeah. So at Q1 we had Esteban in the gravel right at the start. Floor damage, and it was looking like that was going to be him out. But he managed to make it back in.
Yeah.
But because of that floor damage, he was out in Q1.
Yeah. At least they got a time set.
It was pretty poor. A few laps deleted as well.
True, yeah, there was quite a lot of laps deleted actually, wasn't there?
Max, Oscar, Zhou, Gasly, and unfortunately Gasly also missed out on getting out of Q1. So the Alpinuses,
were very,
shocker.
Yeah,
Shocker
they
from
were
them.
poor this weekend.
Not good. And also we lost K-Mag and Zhou and Stroll. And
Heartbreak.
Stroll, bless him, it's not been his weekend. It's
It
not
has
really
not.
been his season. It started off kind of good and then it tanked.
Yeah.
And I have a small possible prediction that we might see Lance leave F1.
I think so.
I don't think he doesn't seem like his heart is in it anymore.
No.
Even that clip this weekend of them coming out of the drivers' meeting and everyone's, walking together, chatting away, and Lance is at the back by himself leaving, and he just looks so... I mean, he could have just been having a quiet moment.
Yeah.
But
he did look sad.
He looked quite sad, bless him. And he's just... It's been a poor season, and when you've seen what Fernando's got out of that car, obviously Fernando's way more experienced. Fernando's a world drivers champion, but the difference in them is
immense.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know how much more Lancelot will have, unfortunately.
Which is a shame.
But if he's not happy with it anymore, he's not happy.
He's leaving Camelot.
Oh no. What are we going to do without him?
Who's the next seat at the round table?
Shit, yeah. Ooh. Who would weasel their way in?
Felipe, I think.
Yeah, probably.
I think he's probably the best bet.
He was
we know he can drive the car.
He had a solid FP1.
He did,
He did well. He probably possibly did better than Lance might have done.
Yeah, bless him.
Although we'll never know.
Nope, we won't. That's what it is.
But yeah, and then Q2, things started to get real exciting.
Oh yeah, they were heating up in Q2.
Ferrari were really zooming.
Yeah, fast.
Dominant on the straights.
Yep.
Over Red Bull. Red Bull faster in your corners though.
Yeah.
So
I think Red Bull were having a little bit of a stress though, because I don't think anyone anticipated the straight line speed that Ferrari had.
This has been the most competitive the Ferraris looked this season.
Yeah.
I think hopefully they'll have another stab at beating the Red Bulls, but I think this might have been their best opportunity this weekend.
Yeah.
And they put in a strong fight.
They did.
It wasn't easy. But then, as it was all going well, what happens? Ferrari start getting investigated for going too slow on their slow laps.
So maybe we should talk about this, because this is a rule that's Monza specific.
Yeah.
So you have to be going... There's between certain points in the track, you have to be going a certain speed. What was the speed? It was 1 minute 40. Your lap had to be tops for going round on your cool down lap. And the drivers were not doing that.
But clearly, whoever was, with the stewards that day and was overlooking that, decided that it was fine.
Which I'm very grateful for as a Ferrari fan.
Clearly, I think there's a bit of ooh, we're just going to turn a blind eye this time.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we've seen that happen with Red Bull consistently throughout the season, so...
Ferrari deserved this.
Yeah.
They were allowed that free pass this weekend.
I think so.
I'm not surprised, because I think there were, there was reports of them being 8 seconds too slow.
Yeah.
So...
Which obviously would not have been ideal for our weekend, but...
They investigated it, and apparently it was all good.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, whatever.
Yeah.
It all worked out. Mm-hmm. And Williams... They were looking good.
Oh, the Williams, this track suits their car.
Logie Sarge made it to Q2. I was good.
I know.
Glad.
I was very excited for him.
He's starting to do better now.
He's getting there. I think he's finding his footing with the car a lot more, which is nice.
I guess it depends if Williams think he's doing enough.
That's true.
To stay now, because we are getting later on into the season.
I
guess
think
these
with the
last
amount
races
of
will be
damage,
really
though,
yeah.
the amount of damage costs that he's provided the team with, it's a bit astronomical, so I don't know if they'll keep him around, because it might not be the smartest move financially.
And he is costing them points, because you see, what was it, Albon on there for Williams, 23 points or something?
Yeah.
And Logan's on none.
Yeah.
If you got
He's holding them back.
Yeah, if you got someone who's extracting as much as Albon, you'd be so much better off.
Yeah, for sure.
And Logan's not doing that for you. So do you think he's going to the next season, when he's a bit more accustomed to the car, going to start... He's never going to be Albon level this quick.
No.
But will he start to match the pace a bit? And this last couple weekends were looking promising.
Yeah, like he's been getting there. I think he just like, maybe because it's also new being in the F1 environment, and maybe like it's just like a mental block.
But I think every race now left for this season is going to be very crucial.
Oh, it all counts. All counts.
His radio message when he got knocked out in Q2, he was distraught.
Gutted, yeah, he was. He was
felt
really
bad
gutted.
for him. So
Bless.
Fingers crossed for him that it's
yeah. We're
onwards and
hoping for the
upwards.
best for Logie Sarge.
And Yuki was doing well as well.
I love that man.
Yeah.
He's just so cute.
It was a promising time for
Oh my
Yuki
god,
Tsunoda.
he really looked like he was away for a blinder this weekend. He really did. I mean, we'll get on to what happened, but...
And then Q3. I looked at my heart rate on my Fitbit during Q3. My resting heart rate, fun fact for everyone, is about 60 beats per minute.
Mm-hmm.
It was up at 100. I was really struggling.
Yeah.
I did a lot of screaming. You might have seen it on the podcast Instagram or on my TikTok.
Yeah, we put our live reactions up there.
A lot of shouting going on.
Oh, yeah.
So we get to the end of Q3. Charles crossed the line. Charles on provisional pole.
Yes.
Here comes Max Verstappen. We're like, oh, God. He crossed the line.
In a soul-destroying move, takes pole.
A mere second later, Carlos comes across and takes pole.
I've actually hurt my throat because I screamed so much.
I'm still feeling it in my vocal cords at the moment.
If we sound a bit croaky this week, it is because we've been screaming the whole weekend.
I've noticed that Alice, my flatmate, leaves the flat when I'm watching qualifying because I must be that irritating because I'm so loud, and it's probably a good thing she wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah.
Because it was pretty ferocious, I'd say.
For sure, but it was just like, it was such a serotonin boost to see, because we've been like, come on guys, like get it this whole season, and then for Carlos to get his pole, I was like, yeah,
we needed that. And Carlos as well, particularly chuffed for it being him, because he's driven so consistently and so well this whole season.
100%.
So he deserved that,
he did.
That success.
For sure.
And it's his 4th career pole, I believe, and the first one since Austin 2022?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I think that's what it is.
Someone check my facts.
Yous all know I'm biased because he's my favourite anyway, but I just think that was the most incredible drive I've seen the whole season this weekend.
Yeah, as a Charles fan, I became a Carlos fan for the weekend because I wanted this for him.
It was such an incredible drive.
And he did so well.
Mm-hmm.
So...
He took pole position.
Yeah, we're kind of lacking in actual notes for once because we were so like into what was going on. We were so distracted by the Ferrari passion that we didn't actually care about anything else at this point.
This was a race where the notebook was down, my phone was down, I was fully focused.
So there's 4 of us watching it together.
Yeah.
And every time a radio message came up, I literally saw us all sit forward.
We all leaned in
because we're like,
TV.
oh my God.
Oh.
It must have been a lot of shouting.
Oh yeah, I do feel bad for my neighbours, but...
Yeah, anytime Checo spoke, I was like, oh, shut up!
Honestly, there was a lot of I hate yous today.
Yeah.
So.
Quite passionate for
For sure. And this is the race to be a passionate Ferrari fan.
Yeah. So 15 of the last 20 races at Monza have won from pole.
Yes.
Which is actually makes pole at Monza more crucial than pole at Monaco.
That's true. Yeah.
So that was an optimistic stat. We're like, okay.
It was.
It's on Carlos's side today.
The other optimistic thing was the Monza curse.
Yeah.
So every driver who's won the previous year DNFs the year later, which it's happened for the last, 5 years?
Yeah. So it started so Charles won 2019.
Yep.
DNF'd in 2020, which Pierre won. Mm-hmm. And then he DNF'd the next year.
Yep.
Which Danny Rick won.
Yep.
And then DNF'd the next year.
Yep.
And then last year Max won. So we were, manifesting.
We were fingers crossed for a little Max DNF.
But alas.
It did not come.
What is it with the Red Bull that it's so has anything actually broken on Max's car this entire time?
I don't think so.
It has on Checo's, but not Max's.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know what's going on with that car.
Suspicious.
Very suspicious.
Red Bull's Conspiracy Club's back.
Oh,
we're
welcome.
Back for another week.
Buckle up, guys. It's like, this is fucking ridiculous because, he gained today in the race.
One thing that I did notice this weekend is Checo and Max had different rear wings.
Did they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Fun fact.
And yet, they both did very well.
Yeah, so it clearly made no difference.
No.
They were maybe just trying it out. But yeah, they had different rear wings this weekend.
My God.
And they were both super speedy.
Well, I actually have another conspiracy to add to the conspiracy club.
God.
Now, this one's really rogue.
Okay.
And only those of us who like our angel numbers will be invested in this. But I think Red Bull, they've got some universe believers in their team because their numbers, driver numbers. So when Daniel Ricciardo was with Max, 333. Because Max was number 3, Daniel Ricciardo's 333. Now they have 111 because Checo was 11, Max is 1. So I think when Max loses, they'll sack Checo off because then Max will go back to 3, Daniel Ricciardo goes back in the seat and they're back to 333.
That's interesting. We need to remember that when the time comes that Daniel goes to Red Bull.
Yeah.
Because that day will probably come at some point.
I know. I've been thinking about this the whole week.
Yeah, interesting.
Right? Now, obviously it's a really rogue conspiracy for those who are not believers, but I am a believer.
It is an interesting coincidence.
Very.
But yeah, that's a good conspiracy for the conspiracy club.
Yeah. Just thought I'd chuck that one in there for us.
I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
So the start of the race... I mean, Yuki didn't even start, bless him. That's his second did not start at Monza.
That was heartbreaking to see.
But he was smiling away when he was in the recovery vehicle and waving to everyone. And
he looked very cute in the wee seat.
But yeah, he had, what was it, an engine failure?
It was,
and a bit of a fire.
Yeah, his car was smoking.
Yeah. And he was loitering a bit too long in it. And I was like,
I was really getting a bit concerned that he was still sat in the car. He was like, guys, my engine won't turn on. There's like smoke billowing out the back of it.
It was coming out the front as well. It was where he was, like in his face. I'm like, you could get out the car. Leave the car.
It's not that important. Get out.
We had an aborted start.
We did.
But it was all over pretty quick and then...
It's the first aborted start of the
season?
Yeah.
Turn 1, obviously very nerve-wracking.
Unbelievably nerve-wracking.
Everyone got through it without touching each other.
I've never been more proud of my life.
Wow. All 19 of them.
Right? I know, honestly. I'm actually very impressed because I don't think we've had a turn 1 like that yet this year.
Yeah, it was really good. Actually, everyone took it well and it all...
And usually it's a little bit carnage.
And Carlos and Charles had a good start. I mean, Carlos managed to stay ahead of Max, which is the important thing.
I was screaming.
Yeah. I felt very sick before the race started.
Oh my God.
I always feel nervous,
sick.
but I was on edge.
Yeah.
And Carlos, there are a few records set this weekend, but Carlos, most laps led by a non-Red Bull car this season.
Yep.
A whole 14.
I know.
Wonderful.
Good
work.
That's why he's my favourite.
Yeah, it was good. I'm glad, and he defended so well.
This guy, this was
Defender of the year.
Honestly, the most incredible drive I've seen this season. Like, it was unbelievable.
And it's been a long time coming because, as we said, he's been really consistent this season. But last weekend, his defending was on point as well. It was top notch. So,
but not only did he have to hold off Max and Checo, he had his own frickin' teammate to fight.
Yeah. So we'll set the scene that for most of the race, we're looking at Max in first, Carlos in second, Checo in third, Charles in fourth. Now, Charles was really within striking distance of Checo for a very long time.
He was around half a second behind him at all times.
And didn't really make any attempts to get in front of Checo.
No.
And then Checo and Carlos almost had a few
near
smashes into each other because it was a bit of aggressive driving from Checo.
Very aggressive.
You know, we all survived through it.
We did.
And then Checo eventually gets in front of Carlos.
Yes.
Because the Red Bull is super speedy.
Now, Charles decides to light a fire in himself that he's got a new lease for racing and he's really ready to take on the world. The world is his oyster and the world just so happens to be his own teammate.
So, like, it was probably the last 10 laps or something, was just Charles trying to overtake Carlos, but almost hitting him every time.
And it was so selfish because if he had overtaken Checo, he could have held him off. They could have had a Ferrari 2-3, which would have been so much better for the team, but he self-servingly wanted a third so that he could get up on the podium and be the big guy.
Yeah.
That he sacrificed the race for the rest of the team.
if they had DNF because Charles had smacked him into Carlos, I don't think I could actually continue being a Charles fan. I would have been so distraught.
Well, do you know what? After this weekend, I've lost a lot of respect for him. I really have.
Charles went out after the race into the pit lane and was over the pit wall speaking to fans, and you could quite blatantly hear a lot of booing happening.
There was a lot of booing.
And if you go on Ferrari's reel about Carlos getting his P3,
on
all the
Instagram.
comments are slating Charles. And it did make it exciting that they did that, but it could have cost them a lot.
And he almost took Carlos out quite a few times. At the chicane, the first chicane, he like locked up and almost took him completely out. Like, it was really dangerous. It was dangerous driving from him.
That chicane was lethal though for all the drivers.
Oh my god.
It may have been fine in the first, in the race start, but beyond that it was chaos.
Massive chaos.
Everyone was fighting everyone into that. And yeah, we're lucky that the only retirement was Ocon.
Yeah.
And we still don't know why that happened.
No, I don't know why he retired.
Because the TV broadcast was so focused on Ferrari fighting each other that everything else was disregarded.
It was irrelevant, yeah.
Like, Logan got a penalty. Do we know why? No.
No, I don't know why he got
because
it.
Because they didn't even bother to report that put on the TV.
And they never even showed, like, the recap. Like, when people get a penalty, they show the recap. Because they never showed it.
Everything was on Ferrari.
Because they were scrapping each other. And I don't understand why the team didn't stop that.
They did say, they said,
they asked them to wise up.
They said hold position.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah.
And
he didn't.
Charles was like, no, I'm going to try and overtake him. But yeah, where was this energy when it was Checo in front of you?
Right.
And you were so close to being able to do it and you never bothered.
It was such an achievable gap because, like I said before, he was, for the most part, under half a second behind Checo. Like, it was a DRS
and
chain
because
that they had
more speed on the straights, he could have got him.
For sure.
So it is
he
really
just
odd
chose
behaviour.
not to.
It is very odd. And Charles was like doing his interview after on TV, sat with everyone, and it was just...
And he was like, oh, that was such a fun race. That really reminded me of karting. Like, oh, I love it when it's like this.
And even Nico Rosberg was like,
yeah,
I'm not sure.
And do you know what? If Nico Rosberg, of all people...
is saying that you've got issues with your teammate.
Then...
Because Charles is all like, oh, we're going to go have a beer now and like laugh about it. And Nico's like, okay, sure.
Right, he was getting chased out the track with pitchforks tonight. He's not just going to go and have a great meal down the bar, like...
The Monza strike may not have cursed, but the Nico Rosberg strike did. Strike?
Oh, yeah.
Curse.
Ooh.
Why am I...
Never mind.
I can't English today. Sentences...
My brain is just like, so like, whew. That was such a fun race.
I need to lie down, but yeah, the old Nico Rosberg selfie curse.
And do you know what was in it? The Ferrari pit wall.
Because we checked it before the race and we didn't read the caption or anything. We just saw it was the whole...
Yeah, the whole paddock.
And we were like, right, that's fine. Cool. And then afterwards we re-looked at it. Caption, Forza Ferrari. What's in it? Ferrari...
Pit wall.
Yeah. And we're like, cool. Now we see what happened.
Yeah. So the Monza curse did not break.
The Nico Rosberg curse is stronger than the Monza curse.
Yeah.
So can someone pay him to start taking photos in front of Red Bull? They must usher him away when he's there. They're like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Never mind. I know.
And then, there was a lot happening elsewhere in the grid, but we just...
Yeah.
We weren't focused.
No. Because
broadcast wasn't
Ferrari,
focused.
like, Ferrari is our team, so we were really focused on that battle. But
the broadcast was seriously focused on Ferrari too.
Yeah.
It was the front that was important this time.
The other thing I have in my notes is that there were 4 5-second penalties dished out.
Yeah, we think so.
I have Logan, Lewis, George, and Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
So there was a lot of... I think it was a lot of like pushing people off the track, not giving enough space, like impeding kind of a thing.
And it was all at that first chicane. Like I'm pretty sure all of them were there. Except maybe Lewis and Oscar was somewhere else, I think.
Lewis.
They were off up the escape route.
The runoff, yeah.
Lewis was a bit naughty.
Yeah.
With Oscar. It
he
was quite
definitely
bad.
Was.
And we were quite surprised it wasn't a 10-second penalty. And he just got the 5.
I thought he should have gotten a 10-second because he made contact with Oscar and then that forced Oscar off the track. So it ruined Oscar's race as well as...
Oscar was up in the points and then Oscar was no longer up in the points. And who finished in the points? Mr. Hamilton or Sir Hamilton.
Because he had to change his front wing.
Yeah, front wing was screwed.
That was a big pit stop because that obviously adds a lot more time on when you've got to unscrew the front wing. So...
Yeah, per Oscar and his post-race interview, he definitely looked like he'd been crying.
Yeah.
Or he'd been at least a bit upset.
For sure.
And I felt good for him.
I know.
I love Oscar.
George also looked like he'd been crying during the post-race interviews.
Classic George. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know he had a bit of a shocker. I mean, his penalty didn't cost him anything in the end.
No.
Because he was so far clear.
Yeah. He was in a good spot at the end.
We were kind of relying on him at the start because he was in front of Checo. Yeah. And we were kind of hoping that he might take Checo out. But no. Russell doesn't really crash into people now.
He was just on a mad one last year, I think.
When we needed him the most, he's let us down.
You're right. You're so right. I think he was like a little Red Bull spy last year because it was always Carlos that he took out. So he was helping the Red Bulls last year. And now the Red Bulls are dominant and he's conveniently not taking anyone out.
Yeah.
Red Bull Conspiracy Club.
I know. Actually, I do have another Red Bull conspiracy. But it's more just about who Christian Horner is fancying to replace Checo. Mm-hmm. Checo, like... He's not... The thing is, he's not actually done anything that would cause him to get replaced. Other than maybe the times that the car had to get lifted out with a crane and everyone saw the underneath of it.
Yep.
Both times that he did that. Mm-hmm. But, no, Red Bull are definitely... They're always looking to improve and I think they want him out.
But I think that they've done this to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already spoken about this, but like, I think that this was in the team sabotage kind of a moment.
Because he was just doing so well and then it all crumbled apart for no apparent reason. Mm-hmm. Bless him. We'll never know. Until it comes out that Red Bull spent $1 million trillion on catering. And then we're like,
I knew something was
maybe
wrong.
this time.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the gist of the race, right?
I mean, the only other thing I have written down is that a little bit more, because obviously we had Carlos and Charles in their team drama. I also had Lando and Oscar, and a bit of a shocker for Alpine as well.
Oh, yeah.
But Lando was getting really impatient with Oscar.
He was, wasn't he?
And I need to look at what their lap times were at that point, and I wish they would have played those radio messages because I'm really I want to know what they said.
Lando got really reckless.
Oscar was in front of Lando, and Lando tried to, at that same chicane, that first chicane, Lando tried to get in front of him, and did they touch?
They did, yeah. Lando hit his side pod.
And it was pretty bad. Oscar was just getting it from all angles this time.
He was, bless.
He did not have an easy race. So that was a little bit of drama, and Oscar was on... Not Oscar, Lando was on the radio getting a bit antsy. Yeah. Hey-ho. And then the Alpinus is just
they were terrible this week.
They stunk up the race.
Yeah.
They got 15th and 19th.
It was bad.
Pretty brutal.
It was.
I mean, to come 19th out of 19...
Yeah. It's not the best.
In the Alpine, which is a fine car.
Yeah. Wasn't the most productive weekend for them.
No, so hopefully Singapore might be a bit better.
Yeah, and Singapore's it's a tight track. So
I'm excited.
Yeah, quality kind of dictates.
We're in Virgo season. As you can see, it's working out for Carlos. And it is my birthday for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Which exciting
we're gathering to watch it.
Yeah, there's quite a group of us.
Even my own mother, who doesn't watch F1, she's coming for it.
It's exciting.
So hopefully Virgo season will be Virgoing and we'll get
fingers
some good
crossed.
Me and Carlos will be interconnected.
It's this supermoon.
True, yeah. My God. I just want Oscar to have a better race. I love Oscar.
Bless. Next week.
I know. And then everything else, because the TV wasn't really...
No, it wasn't showing anyone but the top 3.
We weren't getting any info.
Yeah. So we don't really know too much about anything else.
Because we still don't know why Esteban retired.
No, I didn't even notice that he had until it was showing the grid at the end.
That's a wrong graphic though, because when they flashed up on the screen the second time, so the first time when they had the whole list of all the times, said Esteban retired. But then when they did the bottom graphic, when they were doing the interviews, it said Esteban 19th.
Oh.
So it's
Never mind.
So I don't know at this point.
So we don't know if he DNF'd or not, but...
We don't know what happened. Anyone who was behind... I think the furthest back we were seeing was the sort of battle between Lewis, Lando, Albon, that sort of middle pack, and then anyone behind that was completely disregarded this race.
Yeah, for sure.
You saw the Hasses because they were being lapped.
Yeah.
And they were just sort of there vibing.
Bless.
But everything, the back of the pack was very uneventful.
Yeah.
It was all happening up front for once.
It was.
It was actually quite exciting for the...
It was very exciting.
Exciting part of the race to be at the front.
Yeah.
And, Oh, I really enjoyed it.
I did. And this was my favourite race so far.
And Carlos got his podium in the end. And it was
Love
wonderful. And the cheers were loud and he was happy.
Yeah.
I really loved when he came out and he had his hat off and he was pointing to the Ferrari.
Yeah, like, that's so cute.
They did silence the noise of the crowd when Max and Checo got on the podium and the national anthems were playing.
Yeah.
Which makes me suspect there might have been a fair bit of booing.
I think so. Well, they were booing Charles when he got up to sign hats at the end, so...
Tifosi were...
angry today. Yes.
But, oh well. Carlos,
justifiably so.
And Carlos laughed off everything with Charles, but...
he did.
I would love to be a fly on the wall in that meeting.
Yeah, they said they're meeting tomorrow to talk about it, so...
Netflix will be eating this up. They were there this weekend.
They were...
Which we better get into... We have some gossip.
We do. We've got a little bit of gossip this week. So, the one and only Matteo Binotto was spotted walking into the track being filmed by Netflix. So that leads us to think that he is about to take over as Alpine's team principal.
Because it was thrown... His name was the only name being thrown out to replace Otmar.
Yeah.
And then everyone was... But then it kind of died down and everyone's like, oh, maybe not. And then he was there and he was being followed.
Yep.
And he gave Carlos a hug.
He did.
And then I saw a really great meme and it was a side-by-side of that. You know that one picture where he's like proper shouting at Charles? And
yeah.
And it was like oldest child, youngest child.
I've
or something
seen
like
that as well, yeah.
Because he's giving Carlos a massive hug this weekend. Best buddies. He would have not been happy with the fight in this race.
But he would have stopped the fight. And I think Fred just loves a little bit of chaos.
But, I mean, Fred did ask them to stop. He just wasn't very passionate about it.
But then he only asked them to stop when it got to the last 2 laps because he wanted Charles to just, like, stay at peace and not take out Carlos. But, like, he was letting them fight before then.
Yeah. So, God, Matteo Binotto at Alpine.
I know.
Do you think he's the man that they need?
I mean, I don't know if he's the man that they need, but he's the man that they want, apparently, so...
Were there really no other options? Was that it?
Well, I think because quite a lot of the team principals, they either move up through the ranks of the team, so maybe they don't feel like anybody's ready to step up.
They've sacked all their staff.
I know, but
they haven't got anyone left.
They kind of left really abruptly though. Like it was mid-season, like they were like
at the start of a weekend, was it not?
Yeah. No, this news came out on the Monday, like before the Grand Prix. So
yeah. So that was a bit exciting. He was lurking.
Oh yeah.
It's been a long day.
I feel like the adrenaline's wearing off.
I woke up so early this morning and I just had to sort of lie there because I was so anxious.
Yeah.
We knew it was an important
day.
We did.
We knew it was an important
day.
And
I had a lot riding on this because I said if there was a Ferrari win, I would get a tattoo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it's much of a...
No, you've got a fair few.
Yeah, it would just be like another one on the patchwork.
Yeah.
I'll go without it for a bit longer now. One day I'll do it.
If you want to see your tattoos, you're going to have to go over to the YouTube and watch the video.
Yeah. They're pretty... Well, you can't even really... I'm sat on the wrong side, really. So, yeah, no Ferrari tattoo as of yet.
Yep.
But maybe one day.
Incoming.
Their next win, wherever or whenever that may be, I'll do it.
Hopefully soon.
Singapore.
Oh, true.
Singapore.
I don't know if the Ferraris are notoriously good at Singapore, though.
Yeah, but unfortunately. It's got to hold out some hope, otherwise it's boring.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, at least have some faith.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I'm being negative. Get the positivity back.
Maybe McLaren will be in the comeback. They had their small comeback and then flopped again.
Yeah, now they're pants.
Back in their flop era.
What can we do?
Yeah. You've got any other gossip? Is that it?
I mean, I think I had a little bit of Lando gossip.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
All I saw was that he got a new Fiat Jolly. A long one.
But he sold his other one.
What?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
That's
a bit upsetting, yeah. Let me see where this is in my little screenshot. Okay, so he's suffering with back issues, like really severe back issues.
No way.
Yeah. So he said he's been struggling a lot since the 22 season because they've changed the cars quite dramatically over the course. He's had to make a few different seats to try and see what works best for him, but he's got really severe back pain.
Oh no, that makes me really sad.
And it's bound to be throwing off his performance too because obviously he's in pain.
Because Lando is, going to become one of the best drivers.
Yeah, exactly.
If that is destroyed by back issues.
Yeah.
That's absolutely gutting.
I know, a quote from him is, "I wouldn't say no if we could have softer cars or something that makes the ride a bit more like it was in 2019.
Possibility of Lando being taken out by back issues, and like really hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
It's so sad because he had an interview a while ago and he was talking about like the impact of this career on your mental health. And he was like, I've been doing this my whole life. If I couldn't drive, I don't know what else I'd do.
And it's such a shame.
Because you've literally been building up your whole life to do this one thing.
Yeah.
And it's not like if you don't make it to F1, you can just pop off to like another category. If your back is...
fucked.
Yeah, you are fucked. Like, that is it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do at that point.
And he said that, like, he's tried multiple seats, so it's, like, definitely a big thing for him if it's, like, now public knowledge that he's really struggling.
That's made me really sad.
I know.
I wish I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Oh, that's not a nice note to, like, finish the podcast on.
Well, I can leave it on a nice note because I've just received word that Ollie Behrman won the F2 race today.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Great news.
I know, very exciting.
That is great.
Yeah,
at least I have
our
that.
Ferrari Academy driver, so at least one Ferrari's on the top step at Monza today.
Yeah. Joe, I still love the energy from everyone at Monza despite
it was great.
Despite the Red Bull win.
The big flags that they have, unreal.
Imagine being the people stuck under that flag though.
Well, but I was looking because I was thinking about that because like obviously that's a bit of a shitter if you can't see anything, right? But they left gaps, so no one was under the flag.
Oh. That's wow.
Not in the grandstands, obviously, but like on the track, no one was under the flag. So everybody formed around
so cool.
these flags.
I really would love to go to Monza.
That's one of my dream tracks. Spa, then Monza for me.
We'll do it. We'll get there.
We will.
Eventually.
In the paddock with press badges.
Yeah. I don't know if I can say this, but I want to leave another bit of good news.
Yes, this is such exciting news.
And if I don't know if I can say it. So if this doesn't make it in, then I
just know there's exciting things coming.
And you'll hear about it eventually. But I applied a while ago to do a bit of blog writing for a lovely group called Girls Across the Grid.
Yes.
Who do a lot of great stuff and run great events for women in the F1 community and the motorsport community, actually. It's not just F1, it's the wider motorsport community. And I applied for this blog writing position to write about F1 Academy, and I got it.
Woo!
Sole writer about F1 Academy.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm very excited about this. I hadn't heard anything, so I'd kind of accepted during last week that I wasn't getting it. You know, I was like, the universe clearly decided this is not the right thing at the moment. And then I got the email through at like 9 p.m. on Thursday night, and I was
so
like,
exciting.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, very exciting.
Yeah.
And I'm excited as well to be getting into it. Also, we're coming to the end of F1 Academy's first season. But to be able to get into it for
the full swing of things.
The first broadcasted season, I'm really excited about.
Extremely excited.
And to be a part of something that's so new, but is doing, like, making such massive steps, I'm very excited to be a part of that.
Especially for a group that's empowering women.
Yeah. So it's a very exciting opportunity.
I know.
You'll all know when I've first got my first piece out.
Very exciting.
I've not done any blog writing yet. This is my new venture.
Your debut.
Oh my God. Hopefully it's not awful. I've written many essays in my time for university, so maybe
it should be good. I'm excited to read it.
If I don't advertise it, then it was crap, basically. When you see me talking about it, then it was a good one. But yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Hopefully I can leave this in the podcast and you can all know about it. But
fingers crossed. Well, this has been your Monza recap.
Yeah, it feels like that went really quickly, even though we've been talking for a good...
Well, at least 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but we felt like we flew through that.
We're just getting so good, clearly, Jazz.
Gosh, look at us
we're such expert podcast hosts now that we are like, we've smashed it.
Yeah, exactly.
Too good.
We're just really great at this now.
Getting better and better. Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll see you next race, Singapore. Well, actually, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will. We see you every week.
We don't just record the podcast from the race. We're here every week.
Nope.
So, yeah, next week, I don't know what we'll find something.
We've got some fun ideas.
We always find things.
Yeah.
And then Singapore after that. Very exciting. Night race.
Very exciting. Whoop whoop. Now I am off to decompress after that high adrenaline.
Yeah, I just need to sort of lie on the floor somewhere.
I think so. I think that's the plan of action.
I'm glad we've got a week off because...
Right. It's been quite full on, all these...
I'm going away, so...
Well, that's true.
Nice wee weekend off for me.
Yeah. Perfect.
Right. Nice.